You don't mind putting my name next to Ponzi scheme. Dude, you broke trust with our relationship.
That was the story. You
bro.
were accused of it, and I interviewed the person who is accusing you.
What did you do to investigate that?
That was the investigation.
Just to post a picture of me and my face? That's why you're getting sued. What's up, everybody? I have a special treat for you. I have a competitor, a friend of me, a content creator, a guy that's made a difference in the roofing industry and has stirred up a lot of stuff about me. But in the same sentence, y'all might know him on YouTube as Roofing Insights. I got Dmitry Lipinskiy. What's up, my man?
What's up?
Hey, finally I get to ask the questions. Dmitry, of course, had a recent story that we're going to be answering a lot of questions about in an interview I'm doing with him. But he said, hey, if you want the opportunity to ask me some questions, shoot, I'd love to be on your show and your content. And so, hey, man, that's awful nice of you. And I have a lot of stuff on my mind. First of all, I want to say a lot of respect for the content you create. Some of the stuff I don't agree with. Some of the stuff I'm going to be calling you out. I don't like my name being used for clickbait in negative ways. Makes me want to fight, but you know that.
Yeah, I can respect that.
My question is to you, what's the mission of Roofing Insights?
Mission of Roofing Insights. I'm perfectionist. Anything I do, I want to go to the top. And if I'm content creator, I want to be the best in the game. So if I do the interview, I want to do the best interview. So if we're in a media company, I want to be, we're already the biggest, so I don't have a lot of competition. I'm kind of happy with that. There's a few people who do what I do, but not to the extent, like there's not many people who do reviews. There's not many, I don't feel like anyone wants to go boldly and speak the truth, against manufacturer. Everybody wants to play safe, and in that sense, I don't have a competition. Not many people wants to go against Better Business Bureau, Home Advisor. Everybody wants to comment, and I usually share the story that everybody wants to share, but I think doing a pretty good job, and I want those stories to be heard and for public to know, whether it's State Farm fraud or whatever. And you can do it through interview, through creativity. So I want to have the highest quality videos, content, and we're already the biggest, so there's no goal anymore to be the biggest. So the followings, the views are there. So now the goal is to be respected on different levels. And I feel like when people respect you, they have to change. If I'll give you an example. We have a YouTuber, Johnny Harris, and he ran a story 2 months ago about McDonald's ice cream machine always being broken. So McDonald's now have like 5 or 6 investigations against them. That's respect. You can't go, that's, when I think about bloggers and YouTubers, they are as powerful as CNN was 20 years ago. I would argue that guys like Joe Rogan has more power in media space than CNN and Fox News.
You bring me a good point with Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan. I love the UFC. Both of us are fans. So the interview he did with Sanjay Gupta, when he was like, "Hey, did you see that interview?"
Yeah.
What did they talk about?
I only saw the part that's on YouTube.
Right, let me make clear what he did. Yeah. So he's on intervectum or ivermectin, which is basically well known in cattle to prevent a lot of diseases. And so my grandpa's in the cattle business. Yeah. Everyone in the cattle business didn't get COVID because they knew that this would work. They took it as preventative. The president was taking it as a preventative. It's actually really hard to get.
The horse medicine argument?
Yeah. So the CNN says, Joe Rogan's taking horse medicine, right? Well, truth is that ivermectin is a medicine that's prescribed to humans. It has been for a long time. It's really hard to get prescribed now because people want you to go get the vaccine. But the reality is the doctor, said right there that he was lying, that he was basically working for a network that lied to the public because, of course, Joe Rogan was taking a human form of the program. Now, that type of fake news, if your mission is to make the biggest, do you mind doing things like what CNN did?
You're already the biggest. No, I think what's the most important is my reputation. What people don't realize, your reputation is always on the line too. Joe Rogan's reputation is always what people don't realize is camera does not hide. People think that you can edit and fun cut interview and stuff. People always listen. If Biden and Trump will go on the interview tomorrow, doesn't matter the channel, CNN or Fox News, you still see through the camera. The reason we love Joe Rogan, who is already the biggest and the most influential, is no matter who argues with Joe Rogan, his authority and reputation is untouchable. So if you don't have agenda and if you don't have a bias, you should not be worried about your
reputation. Which I want to compliment the way that you did the unbiased breakdown on the kind of character assassination piece. I know that you were reached out to. How do you decide what's a legitimate story and what's fake news?
You have to investigate any story, but you have to go after what interests you. Like when you're in my position, you have to filter. I would say I argue 10% of stories that come to me. Every single day we get 10, 15 comments, 10, 15 direct messages, do this, do the story on that. Everybody thinks they have a story. It's hard to pick. Usually I go after someone who, like, if you're referring to Lindsay story, I'll clear the air. The reason I picked that story because in her, and I did not know Lindsay. We never met. We actually met after I've been tagged in it, and I've been tagged like 25 times. If you remember her original post, she said she has she's done forensic accounting and she has proof that interests me. So it's not just, hey, this guy is a scammer or whatever. Let's investigate. Let's talk.
So, what would interest you most in my $50 million business being a Ponzi scheme?
Well, I just want to answer a question if it's a Ponzi scheme or not.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it's yours or anybody else. I just want to know if you're running legit business because,
Well, we've known each other for a long time.
Sure.
Do you know I run a legit business? You've been to my office.
I have not seen your books. You might or might not. I don't question it, but I have to investigate. If you have a report, you have to investigate.
How long have you been in roofing business?
7 years.
Okay. Now, I've always been kind of insecure because my dad got me in the business. And actually, one of the questions I have to ask is, when did you come to America? What was it like to immigrate here?
2005, 15 years ago.
Okay. Walk me through what it was like coming here and getting started in business.
I just did a video about it. In 2005, pretty much I went from making $8,000 a year to making $100,000 a year. It took me about 10 years. So all the way, typical immigrant story, from living in a car, knowing nothing, to having 10, 15 construction jobs, eventually started my own business, and later somehow opening a roofing business.
Nice. When did who's the most responsible for your success?
Two pieces: education, determination. I don't know who. I didn't have a single person who opened the doors and taught me anything. It was many people, many jobs. My thing is,
Number one person in roofing.
I didn't have anyone. I can tell you who influenced me the most. It was Rodney Webb on the third year in business.
Okay.
When I hit the wall, but not when I started.
Okay, fair enough. Talk to me a little bit I told you I was going to ask you, a rock bottom in business. Like, do you remember a time where you were desperate and you were maybe doing well and things started to fall apart on you?
100%.
Can you walk me through that?
Second year in business, talk a lot about it. You can find a lot of videos. That was the first time that I did not know. I couldn't see trees through the forest. Have people stealing from me. I would have $50,000 in my account on Tuesday, and I would be negative $2,000 on Friday. Couldn't figure out why. Didn't know, I didn't know if my overhead grew. I didn't know what I was doing. My first 2 years in business, I didn't even have credit lines. It was all cash. I didn't have ABC account. I didn't have Discover card or Amex. It was cash, debit. I opened, I think ABC gave me credit. Now you have to manage credit. I think Amex gave me card. All little things. But the problem was I have two people who actually stole from me, like legit stole leads, everything. And they, we prosecuted one guy, got a felony. I still have judgment to this day against him. Funny fact is, actually that June, I believe it was 2015 or 2016, I was to the point where I was suicidal. I did not know if I can continue. I did definitely feel like
it sucks.
I felt like a failure. And the thing about that situation was, I remember in February following year, I remember like today, and I was short like a couple grand, I remember payroll. But 6 months later, we have a woman walking into the office with a $5,000 check. And she said, I have to be honest with you guys, I've never paid you for a roofing job. It was 5 or 6 grand. And she brought it in. She said, you never collected the check, you never sent me invoice. And what happened is I went to the QuickBooks, and the guy who I later prosecuted, what he was doing, he went to QuickBooks, get this, you probably never heard this before. He recorded payments from homeowners, like in this case it was $5,000. He marked it paid, which we didn't get paid. He marked $5,000 invoice paid to get $500 commission pay. And I'm screwed but 6 months later, this person brought me a check. That's the only way I found out. That's how much trust I have in my employees. This guy, he was my right hand at the time. And when you don't, I was running too fast, maybe growing too fast, it wasn't too fast, but it was definitely I was in the field too much. I was selling.
Did you have salesmen? Did you have leads?
I never knocked doors. I have 4 sales guys at a time. I mean, we're doing a couple million, maybe $2.5, $3 million.
You're working insurance deals, but mostly you give cash bids? Or you work
insurance?
No,
we're doing insurance 50-50.
50-50.
50-50 insurance claims and retail. But the old churn is a retail.
Yeah.
Insurance was always a bonus.
Right.
So it was the toughest. Because when you know you do everything right and you don't have money in the bank, it hurts.
Oh, it hurts. I've been there before.
But here's the thing: you have to be honest with yourself, and you have to go and fix. And the problem I have.
What'd you do to fix it?
Well, first of all, those 2 people, they were fired and prosecuted.
That's good. Got rid of some bad people. That's one of the lessons.
Yep. I hired a full-time accountant. I have to fix the business. There's, you look at the guy in the mirror, and I realized that. Maybe I was I did not know if I was running Ponzi scheme or not, because if you're listen, my overhead never was big. I never took too much money from account. I've always done the right thing, and I still was this close to fail. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to figure out what I was doing wrong.
Well, the definition of a Ponzi scheme is taking people's money for an investment that isn't an actual investment and not giving them anything in return to always take.
No, definition of the Ponzi scheme a little bit different. It's robbing to Peter to pay Paul, essentially. So essentially, you take more money in to
Wikipedia.
pay. No,
Ponzi scheme. Read it to me.
No. Look, maybe you're right when it comes to investment, but if let's say you invest, look at the Madoff case.
Yeah.
So when I give you money to invest, right, and you spend it or lose money, the only way you can pay me back is to go and accept new investment for future people to pay me back. Mm-hmm. So you're taking money from future customers to pay current customers.
But there was no ever actual investment. There was no cost of goods. There was no material and labor. There was no commissions paid.
Well, I would
on all the projects.
I would argue this.
If you paid all your bills, listen, if you paid your supply entity and you paid all your salespeople and you paid yourself a salary and a wage, right? Let's say you broke even or you lost money. Because I don't know if you know about my rock bottom, but there was a rock bottom I had before I was doing sky diamonds. There's been a lot of them, but
sure.
But one in particular where we did 8 figures in business. We showed $1 million on the net EBITDA for the year. I paid myself about $250,000 between me and my dad, and I was expecting at least $50K as a distribution at the end of the year, and I couldn't fucking pull it from the company. And I felt like a complete failure, a piece of shit, even though we were supposed to have. Now this is 6 years ago, and you know what I did to make up for that? I went and sold a fucking commercial job. I used the money to put as a down payment. And my point is sometimes We don't make as much as we say we're going to make. We don't make as much as we want to make. But a Ponzi scheme is not something that you pay your material bills, you pay your labor bills, you pay your sales commissions, you pay your people. And at the end of the year, even a good roofing company on average, I think the average is like, after everybody's paid, workers' comp, everything, maybe like 6%. Is that good? No. That's not good.
No.
But
I don't agree. Here's in the roofing business, my definition of Ponzi scheme is this. If you have to return money, all deposits you took from the homeowners, if you would return all of them, and you would go out of business because you have no operation costs, whatever, like you can't repay them. That's a Ponzi scheme.
yeah. Well, what?
Because you already spent all deposits that people give you to pay someone else's bills.
So that would mean that all the builders in America would be Ponzi schemes, Dmitry, because sometimes
There are many that are definitely Ponzi schemes.
Okay, but sometimes that it's just called proper leveraging OPM. That's what the wealthiest
See, I don't
people in
agree with
America-
it. And this is maybe why
This
you
is
and
the
me...
difference between, like, a lot of times the way Warren Buffett thinks and the way Karl Marx thinks.
I don't agree because, and Warren Buffett does not think that. You can be cash poor, you can be not as profitable, but you can absolutely run a Ponzi scheme as a contractor. And there's how many contractors are in jail because they cannot repay homeowners because they spend the money they should not have spent.
I agree.
So there's a big room for Ponzi scheme in construction.
Okay. Now, I started in business 2003. I graduated high school. I've been in business 17 years. And some years we did really well. Some years we did okay. But there's been growth. And over the course of this time, it seems like exponential growth now that we've had this kind of success. Now, what kind of exponential growth have you seen in Storm Group with your systems over the last few years?
Is the same as my personal, listen, I've been in this country 15 or 16 years. I never went one step back. Every year, I started with $6 an hour, and when I was working for someone, I got all the way to $50 an hour. I started my company with $900,000 first year and over to $4 million. So I was growing, 20-30% every year, but I never really went back. We might stay the same number. I think one year we did 3.9.
If you make more money and you do the same, it's like doing twice as much.
Exactly. And this is what my mentor, Rodney Webb, taught me, hey, you're at 4 million, you don't need to do 5, but you can make more money doing 4 million.
So do you believe that having a smaller company is easier to manage and more profitable?
There's many factors in that. It's not about the size of the company though. It's about your spending habits, and it's about how involved you are in a business. If you do, the best business in the roofing business that I've ever seen, it's Eric Rena, the best. He runs $5 million shop. He sells $3 million himself. He literally does it with a team of 3 or 4. That's really good. Now you can run $5 million, you can do $5 million and pocket $1 million. You really can. But you have to be involved, you have to be known in the community, you have to do a lot of things right. And Eric doesn't even take deposits, right? But you can do $5 million in business and lose $1 million because you have, I've been at one company, they have $2 million company, they have 20 employees. I'm like, what are you, and business owners begging for help. He's like, they're sitting on my neck. Sometimes you see businesses that 3 million and they have 10 people and you have, I say 3-4 million. Storm Group, we only had up to 5 people.
How many people are with Storm Group now?
Same, 5-6 people. It's all the same. It's 3-4 sales guys, production manager, general manager, supplementer. It's a very small team.
Keep it simple, stupid is always a great recipe.
Why not?
Hey, some of my best clients were $2.2 million roofers. Believe it or not, the guy I ranked, one of the things was, if you named your top 5 most successful students, who would they be?
My top 5?
Yeah.
Jason Harley is one of them.
What's he do? What did you teach him?
So he came to us, he was $800,000 a year guy, now he does 3-4 million.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
It repeats after me, the same thing,
Where's he out of?
Houston.
Oh, cool.
So he was, a lot of people who reach out to me, they have similar stories. They're immigrants, they're hardworking guys. They just need that kick to start a company. He was that guy. They need a kick to hire first receptionist, to actually hire invest. They need a kick to rep their first vehicle. Once you rep your first vehicle, once you have receptionists, now you get help. They need help to hire their first sales rep. And then what I noticed, a lot of people stay there. They'll hire 2-3 guys, like DreamWorks Exteriors in Pennsylvania. I just did a video with Adel and Stolfus. Like he started, we just did a story with him. He was in his basement 2 years ago. Now he has like 5 vehicles, all wrapped. His wife is in business. He has a sales rep. I mean, he does $2-3 million, not really big, but happy. And he has establishment, and it's only getting easier from there.
No, you can't knock it. I mean, if somebody's high quality of life, they enjoy selling roofs, like Eric Reno, and like I've defined myself as a roofing salesman. A lot of time, my escape from reality is just closing roofing deals. But you know, for me, just like you, I've been doing it long enough. I want to spend time with my family. And for me, the bigger my company's got, the easier it's actually been. And you know, the reality is that the unprofitable, tough years make up for it later on when the systems catch up. And the cycle of growth is you break your business, then you redesign a solution, then you work your ass, get back to where you were, and then you go above and beyond to the next place. And along all those times breaking my business, and I can tell you, my dad, my uncle, people like Goofy Grant Cardone, Russell Brunson, these people are the reasons why I'm successful. You know, reality is they've given me a growth system. I call it the blue collar marketing method. We use the 30-day recruiting challenge to get salespeople for guys. What is your method to grow roofers?
I don't think I have a method. I don't give as much credit to mentors maybe as I should have, but I definitely give credit where it belongs. And there's a few people who will open your eyes and will change the way you do. But what I believe is someone just have to show the way and make you maybe believe in what you do. Like, I mean, if anything...
Rodney made you believe.
It's not, well, Rodney is a different story. Rodney made me and my company closer because I was not, like many roofers, I was not closing deals. I was doing estimates. I was a nice guy and nice guys don't last. I was the guy who wanted to educate consumer, leave the estimate, but I could not ask like, hey, other than price and payment, would there be any reason why we couldn't just start your job today? I could not ask that question, and Rodney put those words in my mouth. I pretty much at the end, I'm like, hey, you've seen everything. Do you want to sign this contract? Like, that was the hardest thing for me, and he taught me that. I would say if I teach people anything is throw yourself out there. Don't be shy. Nobody cares about you and your existence. If you want to be a shy guy, if you don't want to throw yourself on the internet, like, ask yourself this, why people would not advertise? Why wouldn't you put a billboard? Why you wouldn't create that video or wrap that vehicle? People are shy.
Yeah, let me get into this because this is an important question that's on the list. You got one video to teach people that's going to be the last video they make some money. What are you teaching them? Where are they advertising it? How are they doing it?
Last video, what do you mean?
Like, dude, I want to create a video and I want to be Dmitry. Except for I want my video to make me money. I want leads that turn into roofs. What advertising platform do you go to? How do you structure the video to sell?
I don't think you can sell. Like, I'm always been organic guy. Like, I don't create ads. I never create ads. I hate ads. I always go for search. Ask yourself what your audience, what your consumer would watch. Like, for example, we're here doing metal roof and we're doing, we're literally filming the video. I don't do infomercials. I don't think anybody wants to watch infomercials. So I'm a myth buster. Like, I'm asking myself, like, what people would be interested? And I just ask them 8 questions. The question is it true that metal roofs are louder? Because if you ask that question and you put that content on YouTube, someone might Google it. Is metal roofs are louder? Like, if I'm in Minnesota, I'm gonna create a content on topic like, can you install roofs in the wintertime? Because someone might Google it. So I would say always go for the search and always go where you don't have a lot of competition. Like, for example, repairs.
Good advice. It's good advice.
You know, people don't want to do repairs, but 70% of roofing contractors don't do repairs. 30 do. If you advertise repairs, for example, and you create content over it, now you don't compete with 100, you compete with 30.
This is why we complement each other. Because I'm the advertising guy, you're the search guy. I'm the advertising guy that does create educational value in the infomercial and create sales out of it. You're the guy who can strategically find the search parameter, put it onto YouTube. Now your suggestion, you need somebody to look for a metal roof. My suggestion, I'm going to geographically target the area. I'm going to create the lead on demand.
But what's cheaper? Because when you stop advertising,
you're right.
You die.
The organic's cheaper, but I would rather be able to turn it off and turn it on when I want it. But you're right.
But see, I don't like. I'm a brand builder.
No,
when you build a brand, when you build a store, it should be there for the rest of times. And that's just.
To be honest with you, I gotta applaud you on YouTube because I disrespected organic and I disrespected the YouTube platform. I got started at the same time as YouTube as you did. And I'm good on camera. I just didn't think like a YouTuber, and I didn't post like a YouTuber, and I didn't treat it like it should have been treated. And recently, in the last year and a half, I've changed. And you know, you've got what 650 videos posted on your YouTube.
I mean, a lot. I don't. We publish like 3 videos per week, so 150 a year or something.
I got like 300, 250, 260. But the truth is that you know. Everybody should be building their own YouTube channel, and this is advice all roofers want from you. It's kind of a softball question. What advice do you have to give to these guys about building their YouTube channel?
First of all, don't be selfish. When you create videos, it's never about you. You'll never like. I don't care what I want. Like, ask yourself what the audience want, and cut down the bullshit. Nobody needs intros. Like, I recently been at a YouTube conference, and Mr. Beast, the #1 YouTuber, 70 million subscribers, he opened my eyes too, because even my intros sometimes were a little bit longer. He explained like his algorithm, and his video starts, and he's like, in this video, how do you call people who chase you, like headhunters, like if you have bound on you, like there's
bounty hunters?
Bounty hunters. In this video, bounty hunters will chase, if this bounty hunter will chase me, he'll get like, I don't know, $5,000, and he starts running. First 5 seconds of video. Now, you can turn on the camera and explain the rules for 1 minute. I'm pretty sure you would do it. I probably would do it too. Hey, in this video, here's the rules, right? No, and you watch that 5 videos, shit, what's happening?
No, it's
like
good.
what? So like, cut through the chits. Nobody cares. When I started the cameras, like in this video, like I just did one this week. In this video, a roofing contractor is suing tenant for $112,000. We're gonna react to it. Let's go. That's it. I didn't even introduce myself because nobody cares. Attention span is so small. All you want is find a story, find a topic that truly interests your audience. It could be myth, is like I'll give you an example. I just filmed a video and it's gonna break the internet tomorrow, and it's gonna be controversial, and you guys gonna hate it, everybody else gonna hate it, but homeowners gonna love it. You know what the video is? I went on YouTube and I found every bullshit video about LP Smart Site. Huge search. You guys want to dominate siding? Like one of top 10 videos that I have, it's a siding guide.
Nice.
Like LP Smart Site versus James Hardie. Now, I'm a James Hardie guy. I interviewed Matt Reisinger, the biggest builder. He's a James Hardie. Go watch LP Smart Site videos. Bullshit. Like bullshit. People get paid to promote it, and I named that video as LP Smart Site is fast food of building materials. And I plead my case. I took 4 YouTubers and I freaking roasted them. Because every review that I've seen is, oh, it's easier to install, it's lighter, it doesn't break. I'm like, all right, it's good. Food that you make, like from the freezer, it's good. Fries is better and easier. Does it make it better for your body? No. So you cannot be afraid to say and do what's good for your audience. You have to have audience is the best interest. I mean, ask yourself, when do we go to YouTube? Like, you're not grass expert, your grass turns blue or different yellow, you go in how to make my grass green, and you find the expert. Nobody goes in, looks for local, company to fix your loan. They want to answer.
So I do door-to-door videos. A lot of my audience are door-to-door guys, insurance guys. I got to ask, why so much hate for the door-to-door guys and the stormers?
Well, for me personally, there's not so much hate. It's more like I just don't get it. And I cannot do what I hate. I hate when people knock at my door. I don't want to knock at other people.
Understand it.
This is why. I will never do, and some people like it. I see a lot of door knockers. They have someone knocks the door. They want to buy from them just because they came in. I don't want to buy. If you inconvenience me, I don't want to buy. If you're in my face,
oh yeah, I couldn't talk you in your front yard. You'd be popping me like that guy.
No. I wouldn't be popping you, but I wouldn't answer the door. I have no respect for it.
All right. So why do you hate on big companies?
Like what?
I hear this a lot with the Ponzi scheme, with the stormers. It's like they don't make as much money as they say they make. Now here's the deal.
Sure.
It's one of my biggest pet peeves too, because one of the biggest companies I compete with, I'm in the same market. I see how many permits they pull. I know that all these top 100 roofers report numbers that are super inflated, and the reality is that roofers, you can usually multiply their numbers by cutting it in half, sometimes in a quarter to get the truth. However, the definition of, have you ever read Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Do you ever have a goal to get into that quadrant of a large business?
No.
No.
I mean, maybe I have thoughts about it, just like when I was 5, I wanted to become a president. I think we all have a stage when we want to be the biggest or whatever, but I always been content. I always were happy with what I have, no matter what I have, truly happy. And at one point, especially when you have 5 kids, you have to make different decisions. You have to be okay, do I do this or do I do that? And I've made a lot of those decisions, not towards, for me, it was that moment, I'm going to work smarter, not harder, at least before my kids graduated school. After that, we'll see where we're at. But answering your question, I love big companies, but I love truly good.
What's your favorite big company that does it the right way? And what would you say is the definition of, insurance? Look, you made some comments in the last video that somebody like Anthony shouldn't be in charge of Win the Storm, because he's bad for the insurance industry. Okay, not going to disagree or even comment. Who or what company and CEO or owner would you say would be a good fit? Someone that would be a role model?
Well, there's a few that comes in mind. I mean, I come from Rodney Webb network, and I've seen books from so many. One thing what people don't know about Rodney Webb, even before you hire Rodney Webb, he sends accountant to your business to review. And when we go to Rodney Webb conference, all we do is books. I know, Rodney Webb story, he was doing $8 million in gutters, pocketing $2 million. That's what happens when you sell high profit jobs. You sell gutter covers for $30, you're going to make $2 million and $8 million profit. That's Rodney Webb system. We have Lindus Construction in Minneapolis. In 2004, they were a $4 million company. Today, they're almost $100 million company. They never go back. They have 4 locations. They're killing it. Monarch Roofing has 4 locations, $40 million company. Eustis Roofing here in Florida, 2 hours of Orlando. They're going to do 15, 20. Those guys make more money than some $40 million companies. Eustis.
What kind of insurance? They do shingles?
They do
mostly
asphalt, residential. They
mostly
do. Yep, absolutely, 100%. Their profit margins double any storm restoration contractor.
You realize
I've seen.
I have 9 locations in Florida. Orlando is the least profitable location. How did setting up in Florida go for you?
All right. I mean, I close it, but see, completely different reasons. It's not about. You have to ask yourself what was the goal and why did it end. But answering your question, it's not about locations. It's about net profit margins at the end of the job. And you ask me to name a few. I name a few. I know companies who do $15 million and they net 25%. Have you ever seen a company who does net 25, not gross, net?
Derek Stoll is one of my clients. He nets very high. and he's from Rodney Rev School, but he came to me because Rodney doesn't teach the lead generation, doesn't teach the recruiting, and the one thing that my system does is teaches the advertising on demand for leads, the recruiting on demand.
So to answer your question, I don't hate on big companies. I know plenty of good companies, but you can spot quickly where there's no discipline, where there's no there is few red flags that you see, especially in Storm Chaser, because it's one thing to build $10 million company in one market, then like you
Do you
said,
know how
in
much
nine.
money it costs to go from 48 million to this year, I'm going to build 75 million. So when
I don't know how much it costs.
So it's going to be somewhere around that.
Sure.
When the storm hit New Orleans, can you imagine what that meant for me?
It's a lot of overhead. It's a lot of investment. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't do it if that would be me.
I put $2 million on the streets.
I believe you.
I put all the cash, everything that I got.
I'm pretty sure Florida is expensive too.
But now in Florida with 9 locations, here's the deal. Our business does $2 million a week in sales. We collect $2 million a week in my business with all the people. The thing is once you get to that other quadrant, we have a large business. We have almost 350 employees. They're subcontractors, some salespeople, some employees, and about 50 employee management team. We're on the precipice of being one of these large companies. And a big company, you know Cotton Restoration? Okay, Cotton Restoration is a big $1 billion, worth $1 billion practically, company out of Texas that does mostly commercial large loss restoration. And they got bought by a venture capital firm or a private equity group. And lots of private equity groups are getting into the roofing business. And it's like the Wild West for some of these money guys. And I have a family business. I'm a student of Russell Brunson. I don't really believe in selling out. What I'm trying to do is scale through getting the right banks to back me. But the reality is, what do you think about exit strategy in roofing and this new wave of roofing companies rolling up, roofing companies getting bought out? We had Crest and your buddy Apple. They partnered with a private equity group. Both guys got bought out for an undisclosed location amount of money to build.
I know the amount of money.
And
Apple Roofing is actually one of the best examples of a big company. I know their books. Dustin has come and teach at our conference. So, and this is what we like. You asked me earlier why I don't like. I'll tell you why I don't like. There's good business and there's bad business. And here's the difference. If you study the business, we have Dixie Home Improvements, we're a $500 million company. They're out of business, right? We have company in Minneapolis, $350 million company out of business. But we don't know until they fold what was inside. We have Target Roofing here in Florida. The guy is in jail now for 3 years, PPP loan, 2.1. No, but I'm just saying, he was
a successful business. He did something really stupid. He was an alcoholic who made a dumbass decision. But he was a rich kid too, whose daddy.
I get it.
They were all rich. He made a dumb fucking decision.
Listen, you ask me why I hate big businesses. It's not true statement. I don't hate, but I hate Ponzi schemes, big businesses, because you can be really big and very smart, and I've seen a lot. I have probably 20, 30 in my network, but I also have 20, 30 in my network that go up and down, and they don't.
Just like I told you before, halfway through the year, Lindsay was at a meeting. We had a wide open financial report. Our company earned about 3.7 million on just over $20 million in built and collected roofs halfway through the year. Then we had rainy season, and we had a slowdown in sales, and my company only recorded $4 million sales months. And for a company like mine, who's growing with overhead, who doesn't build as many jobs because it's raining as they could, that affects the bottom line. And we went down. And the reality is that the hurricane happens, and I have to go all in. But what does that do? That positions me to go 10x. And again, I put 2 million out to turn it into 100. Now here's the thing, the company that contacted me, they don't want to buy a single company that's net worth is not $10 million in EBITDA. I'm very, very close. And so I don't know what Sam and them sold their business for, but they want to give me $80 million for my business. And I don't want to sell it, okay? And the reality is I am trying to change the most lives in roofing. I want to make the most blue-collar millionaires in roofing. I want to have the best system.
How many have you made so far?
I've made 20. I made a list.
You made 20
I made a
million.
list of 20 people that I've made $1 million to their bottom line, and I ranked them before I got here.
What do you mean million to their bottom line?
I mean, I put $1 million in extra profits to their company. Basically, I calculated on who have I helped add 5 million or more in sales directly from my recruiting campaigns, lead generation campaigns, and I can't take responsibility for some of these really successful people that come into my program. I can't take responsibility for their success, okay, in any form or fashion. But one thing I can tell you is that I pride myself on generating the most results for myself, for my team, not being an empty suit, and being the man in the arena. And even if the critic is gonna, on the outside, look in, the reality is I'm gonna be your friend. I think that we complement each other really well. I think you might hate guys that knock doors because you don't knock doors. You might hate big companies because you're not a big company. You might hate infomercial guys like me because you're not an infomercial guy. But I think a little mix of both is what roofers benefit from. I think what we're both doing is great. And I'm excited to do my interview.
I don't think hate is the right word for it. It's just not my style. It's just we're different, but different is not bad in this case.
Well, you had an important thing that you said to me privately. You said, hey, I don't want to go to anyone's event or have anyone at my event that doesn't align with my values, all right? Some of the guys work with me. They're good people. Deshaun, door to door. Sam Taggart, door to door. What are your values? And why don't I align with your values?
I'll explain it maybe a little bit better. First of all, it's not just me. I do have this one talent, and it's reading, understanding what audience want. I understand the consumer, because I study consumer behavior. I study roofers' behavior. I want to know what roofers want, and I think I know what roofers want. I study customers' behavior. Roofers don't agree with me, but
you've done a better job than me at studying the customer's behavior.
Yeah, but
I will respect your gift.
But that's what I do. So when I do interview someone, I always think what my audience wants to ask and stuff like that. So when I made a decision to invite someone to my conference, for example, I know it's not my decision. I actually build a panel of 15 guys, and we have a group, me, text message, and every single one, every single person who gets on the stage, I send them a name. Guys, what do you think about bringing this person or that person? It's kind of my initial group. I usually know what the response is going to be. Sometimes they surprise me. Let me put it this way. When you create YouTube video, and this is also advice for you guys, content creators, you should not be creating videos like who's your client. Some people say, your viewer is 1 million people or 10 million or all roofers or whatever. I would argue with that. That's not true. You have to make a video for one person. And this is what I did. I know who my person is. He has a name. His name is Nate. I make all my videos for one guy and one guy only. His name is Nate.
Nate Schwepp.
Nate Schwepp. He's my target audience, if you will. He is my guy. So I know what Nate wants.
How much does Nate do a year?
I don't know, 3 million now. No, the point is he represents my audience, right? So when I make a video, I know what Nate likes. I know what Nate doesn't like. Because I analyze my videos. I'll do the video and people. So, but the same here.
You told me you don't.
Bringing you to the conference.
Yeah.
We're so different that we cannot be together on the same stage. For me to bring you, my audience have to vote you in. People have to ask, hey, that guy is good. My audience does it all the time. They do it for all the speakers, but not for you. Maybe you are too controversial. Maybe it's your personality.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but you push a lot of people away. and it's not me personally. I just have to. I'm a messenger, if you will, and I have to listen. And
Here's the thing. I'm gonna give you a list of 20 people that I've made millions of dollars for. I'm gonna show you how my business is profitable and did 75 million last year. There ain't another coach that's generated more results than me. I care about my people. I've stood behind every promise I've made.
And I don't doubt it.
Listen to this. I compliment what you do, and I would really like to have you at my conference. I don't care what they say. I really don't. I was really upset with how you put my name next to Ponzi scheme, because I've paid out $5 million in commissions. I've been in business for 17 years. I've changed the industry, man. I was the first one to create an online university, and Zach, he showed you Lightspeed, and you got with Brad, and before even Anthony got with Brad, I was the one who got that started. I'm also the one who is teaching these roofers how to advertise on social media. And we are having a lot of results with the blue collar marketing method, generating results for people, not just with the leads that we get people, but with our recruiting funnel.
Can I give you advice?
Yeah.
Honest advice. Because I hear it all the time. You always talk about results. Mm-hmm. That would be very different if others talk about your results. Mm-hmm. You always say, I'm this, I'm the biggest facilitator of success. We all heard it. I've heard it 100 times. Mm-hmm. The difference, what's the last time you've heard Rodney Webb talk about his results?
Dude, Rodney Webb ain't doing shit. He don't have a fucking company. He hadn't been in the business in a long time.
That's not true.
Okay, well, my clients,
he is the biggest in the industry, I would argue, the biggest sales coach.
Okay, please. I did fucking $2 million. I heard how you said your event wasn't profitable. Bro, I made $1 million in one day. You should fucking have me into your event so that I can help you make money.
I want to lose money. I don't do conference.
Do you want to lose money in your roofing business too?
No.
Then why the fuck you want to lose in your conference?
That's not the point. I will make money in a time.
Yeah.
Like a Roofing Insights channel was, there's time to monetize.
Yeah.
For 3 years, I did it as a hobby, and then I turned it on, and I could make.
You know how much money I've generated for the online shit? $10 million, bro.
Listen.
That shit is going to better my system, to better other
people's lives. I'm giving you
advice. I'm giving you advice. Roofers that are really successful with my system a lot of times don't want to share it with other roofers. They don't want other people to know that Lee has the fucking secret system to growth. Because a lot of times guys have used my system to get $100 million in results, but they think that it's so easy to execute that if they told their competition that it would affect their future deals. And because I'm still competition, and because I'm out here kicking ass, doing it at such a high fucking level that everybody hates me, Tom Brady's easy to fucking hate, bro. I get it, I'm easy to fucking hate. No. But one thing about it is, let me tell you, I'm getting a little heated. No, all right?
I feel
now I'm gonna pull it back. You know Saul in the Bible? Mm-hmm. Okay? Kind of like him. I'm not a killer, but I do have a little bit of a temper, right? Jesus didn't care about the crowd. He only cared about the disciples. And sometimes I care too much about the crowd. My emotions right now are like you. I care about what the crowd thinks. The crowd doesn't always know what's best for them. 12 men, 12 disciples created Christianity, okay? Now, I'm not sitting here and calling myself a perfect person, but if you think that judging your life based on the crowd, based off of...
Never said that.
Well, I'm just telling you, a lot of times I see what you do. You don't mind putting my name next to Ponzi scheme. Dude, you broke trust with our relationship.
That was the story. You were accused of it. And I interviewed the person who is accusing you.
What did you do to investigate that?
That was the investigation.
Just to post a picture of me and my face? That's why you're getting sued.
Didn't I interview Lindsay?
Huh?
Didn't I interview Lindsay?
Look, here's the
deal. Hold on. But you tell me I did not investigate, I did not go all the way, I did not roast her.
You put my name next to the words Ponzi scheme before you investigated.
You are taking it out of context. I put your picture and Lindsay's picture because she was accusing you and she was saying she has evidence. And I said, let's talk about Ponzi scheme.
You should verify the evidence before you
Did I say that you are Ponzi scheme?
No, you didn't. But some people
Let's talk about Ponzi scheme.
Some people... Listen, some people, like the people that are the $3 million contractors like Nate, who are afraid to do business with someone like me because I'm intimidating, because I have intimidating...
I don't believe it. I told you many times, nobody can ruin your name but yourself. You can put my picture next to anything. You can create scam alert and put my picture in it. It will never affect me.
Dmitry, no growth system.
That's fine. That's fine.
No advertising strategy.
Absolutely. Bring
Headline.
That will never affect me. How many negative videos and scam alert videos and he's a crook you see next to
how many millionaires
Contractors?
How many guys you made $1 million?
It doesn't bother me.
0.
It should not bother you. How many times you've heard people exposing Grant Cardone?
Bro, it doesn't bother me, but what bothers me is
it
when
does
they
bother
put my
you.
name next to the words Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, and people do it all. Listen,
that's fucking fake news, buddy.
It's not fake news. The news is real.
You want to arm wrestle?
Sure.
Okay, afterwards, let's wrestle for real.
No, hold on. Actually, not. I have something better for you. Okay. I have a better challenge. Listen, it's not. First of all, I apologize to you on the phone, and I'll apologize again if it offended you.
It did offend me, bro.
Okay.
I've paid every fucking...
Publicly apologizing for putting your picture, but you cannot take it out of context. Because when someone comes out, listen, if someone comes to you and say, Dmitry Lipinskiy, whatever you put there, and says, and I have evidence, and I'm going to come to you...
I'm from the South, bro. We fight.
Listen, if you listen to that video, start to finish...
I heard it. You danced around saying my name. You still put my fucking picture there. We still don't play those games, dog. We don't play those fucking games.
There's no game.
Okay, well, now you're meeting me head to head.
There is no game, Lee.
I know there's not a game.
There's no game. And I gave you opportunity, I'll give her opportunity, and did you see the video that I did? I did a video for you.
It was good.
But 80%, listen, and here's what most people
90% of the people say it was bullshit and garbage.
No. 80%, if you saw the poll, if you saw the interview, 80% of hate came to her, and this is exactly my point. How many times, and you guys comment if it's YouTube or whatever, you comment below, how many times you have seen underdog losing the fight? Mm-hmm. Try to make everybody's rooting for underdog. Mm-hmm. It takes a lot of talent and it takes a lot of exposure to actually ruin underdog.
Well, here's the deal. I don't want to ruin nobody. I want Lindsay to be successful.
But I want, when I run a story, I have no...
Well, since my audience may not see your rebuttal, here's the deal about Lindsay. We're fixing to pay her more than what she even expected.
And I know you are. And people will find out.
The reality is I would have done that anyways. And she assumed a lot of things that we were going to do. And she wanted to cancel for attention. But the reality is I wish her success. She did come up with some good things that will help people. There will be commercial leads that come out of it. Roofers will benefit from it. Now, you deal with crazy, you might get a little crazy. But I wish her the best. I want everyone to know sometimes the lessons of hiring experienced roofing people that already have existing social media profiles and things. You get involved with people that want to do things like this for their stage. So be careful, be aware that can be a consequence.
Here's what I have to say. This story is probably the best story you'll have for your business because that Ponzi scheme argument and accusation does not matter. When you come out as a winner from that, that's what really matters. Everybody get excused. Every single person, and the bigger you're going to become, you told me last time you want to be Grant Cardone. Look at Grant Cardone. Type in Grant Cardone expose 10, 20 videos. But did he really get exposed?
No.
The bigger you become, people expose Gary Vee, myself, everybody. The bigger, and I'm waiting for people to freaking expose me. Like Lindsay have freaking conversation about me. She has employee who work for you and for me, and she recorded a phone call, and she's going to post it on social.
Stupid.
And I said, please do.
But for one, that's not important. What's important is I told you I respect what your organization's doing for the roofing industry, the education, the reviews, a lot of the different insights. Now, be careful about bashing good people. All I can tell you is...
I don't do that.
Okay. And all I can say is, if what you're doing is building people up like the 5 people that you mentioned that were coming up, going from 800,000 to 3 million, figuring out how you were able to help them, putting that into a package. I wrote a book. I wrote a scaling roadmap. I have a software. I have, the university that is the video training, but also the reality is years of coaching. And after 6 years of coaching, I wasn't a great coach in the beginning. There was times I failed, but my system's gotten better. So even meatheads can double their investment.
You always get better when you teach, 100%.
So,
because you first have to teach yourself.
That's right. So just stick with it. I know there's enough room in the market for both of us. I know a lot of those guys are going to like you over me. I still, the invitation's open for you to speak at my event.
It's different audience.
I don't care if you speak at my event. I would like for you to speak on YouTube growth and for the importance of YouTube and search. I think that you are the authority in roofing when it comes to that. I'd like to have you at my event for that. Appreciate you having an honest conversation with Lindsay. And, I do understand where you're coming from. So I think this was a good interview, guys. And guys, like and subscribe, comment below. Have you any questions for Dmitry? You have anything that we should have asked or covered? Drop some comments in the links. And we're fixing to do the other side of this interview. He strategically had me ask all the tough questions first so he could figure out how hard the questions need to be for the second one. So let's have a little halftime and then go for round 2. All right, guys. Until next time.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I have a fitness challenge for you.
Okay. What is it?
Can't tell you.